Good morning. Welcome to my home and welcome to my heart. Here's my mom. She'll probably demonstrate some lung activity for you today. There you go. That stimulated it.
Don't make me laugh.
So as our lungs work, we're talking about lungs, and lungs are the metal element. Lungs are the structure. The metal elements are structure. They give structure to the earth. Lungs are the structure around which we breathe, right? If our lungs didn't work properly, well, we don't have very much time left. And so as we've had things come into our lungs that have affected them in a manner where they need to heal from, when we start, like Mom's at the stage now where she's actually sounds horrible, but is on the mend. It's a good horrible, if that makes any kind of sense. Life is full of paradoxes, isn't it? So yes, she may sound like she's coughing up a lung, quite literally, but that's the movement. And that's the body saying, okay, this stuff has been in here, now I got to move it out and let it go. Kleenex, exactly. And lots of coughing. And have you ever heard of the term called a productive cough? Well, we've got a productive cough going on here. So as we think about the lungs and we think about the things that we're holding in our bodies, in different places in our bodies are being held for different reasons and they're different emotions. So we get imbalances in our bodies from a number of different things. From unhealthy food. So if we live on Cheetos and McDonald's food, there's stuff in there that our bodies say, oh, gotcha. Oh, not sure quite where to put that because I can't really process that. So it tucks it here. Oh, got that. I don't know how to process. This part I can process, that part I can't process. So it tucks it here. So when we use food that is not nourishing and is not something that our bodies can fully use or fully excrete, it gets stuck in us. So being aware of healthy nutrition. We don't have to be fanatical, but simply being aware of how the different nutrition goes with different seasons and things like that. And those are all topics that we cover in the Qigong practice groups and in our classes as well. But so imbalances are created by unhealthy foods, by poor environmental conditions. Right now, Mom looked out the window and she goes, this morning, she goes, is it foggy out there? Well, no, there's some forest fires in the general area. We must be having east winds, and so it's bringing in particulates from the fires, and so those things are going to be affecting the lungs. Accidents, and Mom and I were just talking about some of the reasons that she had some difficulties with her legs, and has all her life had difficulties with her legs. And as we were talking about some things in her childhood, she's had some pretty tough falls. And where she said she fell down a set of stairs once. She was hit by a car once. And so those tough accidents, those impacts on our bodies, unless we understand, and we didn't understand, unless we understand how to release those kind of stay in us. This is where tapping that sacrum can be so incredibly important. Where bouncing can be so incredibly important. Because it loosens up those things that, now that those things have come to an awareness, as we use the physical practice of Qigong, some of those things will start moving out because now they've come up to our awareness. Awareness is key and awareness is everything. And the other thing is unbalanced emotions. As Mom and I were talking again, she was talking, she's 90, and so she's lived through some very difficult physical illnesses, so scarlet fever, whooping cough, things like that. And she was talking about times when she was actually hospitalized and segregated and isolated and her parents would come in and they could see her, but they would have to be in full PPE, as we call it now, and couldn't actually touch her. So as a child, she was taken from her brother and she was put in the hospital, and her parents could come see her, but they were in this strange stuff and they couldn't touch her. So all of her support mechanisms were taken from her. Perhaps those emotional impacts now settle into the body. And so we don't have to, let's bounce now as we start. We don't have to go and find every memory and go, okay, now I'm going to deal with this memory and I'm going to move it out. Our body knows, our chi knows. Our chi is perfectly intentional perfectly intelligent, and it's run by our intention. So as awareness has come up and we start becoming aware of, oh, I wonder if that had anything to do with things. And maybe we hold the image of that information in our mind and bounce and say to our master, as we call upon the energy of our master, the intention may be to now release any extra energy from that particular memory, if we actually have a memory. We could also just globally say in our intention, which we will set in a moment, I release any energy from any memories or accidents or illnesses that is ready to be removed back into the universe. And so we don't have to visit everything, but we can be globally aware of the possibility that we might be holding things in our bodies and connect with the universe to now lovingly release them from us, for us. And as we do that, as we become more balanced in ourselves and we release and we become more free, that energy that we now hold that vibrates higher shines to other people, because vibration is there. We've all walked into a room at some point and just known that somebody's angry in that room. Without a word being said, we can just feel it, because that vibration is there in the air. The same thing are vibrations of love and freedom and balance. Those vibrations are felt by others as well, and our vibrations help to heal them. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? I can just hear Master Lin saying, isn't that, I don't remember the phrase he uses, but I can just hear his voice and the joy in his voice when he explains to us a topic and a concept that heals just simply because it's set in motion by our intention. And it's just so cool. There it is. So as we bounce, feel free to release into that bouncing any emotion, any accident, any environmental condition, any imbalance, any unhealthy food. Maybe you just ate crap all day yesterday. Just bounce and go. And release. Maybe say something to yourself like, you know what, today's a new day. I did that yesterday. I'm letting it go. I'm just simply letting it go. As we bounce, we can let go of stuff. We don't have to hold it. We don't have to know about it. Allow your hands to float up in the air. Just have little strings attached to your wrists. And as they float up, notice your shoulders. Are they rising at the same time? Or are you being aware? It's all about awareness. Notice the shoulders. Are they rising up? And as I feel my shoulder, especially my right shoulder, just rose a little bit more, and I became aware of it, I just said, slide back into a normal position. And so my shoulder blade back here slid back. And Master Lin talks about how those shoulder blades actually cover a gate, an energy gate. And when they're stuck, the energy can't flow up to our heads. So much knowledge. And as we decide that we want to get more knowledge, that knowledge will give us the wisdom as to how to use the knowledge. And so this practice here right now it's my gateway drug. I hope that you feel enough release and balance from practicing with me in this that it will invite you to go deeper and to listen and to go, because the more we go deeper, it's like, I used to scuba dive, let our hands float down. I digress. And when you're on a boat on the top of the ocean, and you think, wow, this is really cool, and perhaps you'll see a whale breach or you'll see something happen. But then when you put on the mask and the regulator and have that tank attached to you, and you plunge down deeper into the ocean, oh my goodness. The stuff that's under there is so cool. And the way there's danger, yes, there absolutely is. I can tell you stories. But there's also wonder and beauty and joy and so much happiness in the depths. So as we practice these little practices and these movements, I invite you into more of the depths. They're really cool. So breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth. I'll be quiet now, and I'd like to invite you to simply bounce. Any one of these movements you can take in their isolation. So if you're feeling heaviness from the world, breathe in and bounce. Breathe in and bounce. If you only have 1 or 2 minutes to practice, bouncing for 15 seconds. It brings balance back in because your intention is to release and balance. As you bounce, be aware of the alignment of your body. If you're holding tension anywhere, shift the alignment, especially in our pelvises. When we kind of tip them forward, I know I get a soreness in my low back as I rotate the pelvis into a more neutral pelvis position, which is a more natural position. I feel the release in that sacroiliac joint in my back. And I find balance in those little spaces. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're going to use one more breath to invite our bodies into quiet stillness. So as you exhale this time, just allow your body to slow down and be still. And I always marvel at the expansion and the chi that I feel, especially when I come into stillness off of the breath and don't just halt. As you see my hands floating away from my body, that's a natural expansion that just occurs. I feel a fullness between my torso and the inner arms. My palms feel full, my fingertips are tingling. This is chi. Chi is energy in its simplest definition. Adding to that definition is energy with a life force to it, so it creates and sustains life. Chi is also an energy with a blueprint. So it has the blueprint, it holds the blueprint for the perfection of our body, mind, spirit. And that blueprint is activated, and the chi's intelligence is activated by our intention. What are the desires of your heart? The desires of our hearts activate our chi. We always get to choose. Bring our hands to the lower dantian in the front. Your right hand is next to your navel if you're a woman. Your left hand is next to your navel if you're a man. If that doesn't feel right for you, adjust them until something feels right. And I can feel still the pressure in my palms, that chi. It feels joyful and happy. Here, with our attention and our awareness at the lower dantian, the activation of our chi, we now set the intention of our practice today. We call upon the energy of our master. And your master is anyone from whom you derive wisdom, strength, knowledge, support. I invite you to choose a master that you perceive as having perfection. And so that the guidance and the support that you receive will be exactly the right support for you. As we call upon the energy of our master with deep respect and deep gratitude, we can say something like this in our mind or out loud. Dear Master, with deep gratitude for the support and the knowledge and the wisdom and all the help I've been given throughout the years, I set the intention for my practice today. And why are you here? What would you like to accomplish? What would you like to receive in your practice today? Set that intention yourself. My intention today is to see the possibilities in the world today and be released from anxiety. To be released from sadness and depression and see possibilities. And as we set the intention, now we give the password. The password is the key to unlocking the power of the universe. The password is, I am in the universe. The universe is in my body. The universe and I combine together as one. Feel the power in that password as we step into the emptiness, step into the vastness of the universe. And we are held and supported by that unconditional love of the universe. So what we would call emptiness as a human word is in reality a suspension of unconditional love. And that emptiness holds all possibilities. And we can choose from all those possibilities what we would like to invite into us. As we move into the fourth healing element, fourth healing movement, I invite you first to just feel an energy ball here of yin and yang. We're joining yin and yang in this energy ball. I invite a smile to our faces, and our tongue is touching the roof of our mouth. As we bring our hands together, we're going to walk our right foot out a little bit further. Bring your hands together at the lower dantian. Your hands actually form a heart shape. Your fingertips are just lightly touching it with enough pressure to hold a piece of paper. As we shift our body weight to the left side, we're going to breathe in. As we shift our body weight to the right side, we breathe out. Breathing in to the left. Breathing out to the right. Spring Forest Qigong healing is message healing. As we breathe in, because we're breathing in the moment and we are present in the moment, as we breathe in with this fourth healing element of connecting with our body's energy, connecting with our lungs, connecting with the earth or the metal element of the world, connecting with the color of white, beautiful color of white. As we feel all those supporting systems around us, and the lungs also include the skin, so as you breathe in through the skin. Breathe in beautiful white light through the skin, white oxygen, brilliant white pure light. And as you feel those elements, we're breathing in the expanding emotion of contentment. As we breathe out to the left or to the right, we're breathing out any extra energy, any sadness, any depression. As we breathe in, we're breathing in contentment. Because we have used the password and we're now held in the support of the unconditional love of the universe and our master, we can be content in this moment. Breathing out any extra energy that no longer serves us. Breathing in contentment. When we are content, all of our needs are met. We have no need for anything extra. We can just be, wu wei, do nothing. Be. As Master Lin would say, being in that place of being, not being. Held, supported, loved, worthy. Not having to prove anything. Being magnificent just because we be. I am content. I am so content. In the silence of our practice now, be aware of shifts and changes in your body as you breathe in contentment with every inhale. If your mind wanders away, feel your breath. Bring it back to the breath. Just observe what you're wandering to, and quietly and kindly invite your mind back to the breath, back to contentment. If you can't physically stand and do the movements, sit or lie down and envision yourself. Hold a movie, watch a movie in your mind, have you in full vibrancy, with your body at the peak of its life, performing these movements, engaging in these movements. Our visualization is just as powerful as our actual physical practice. I am content. Coming back to the center, walk your right foot back. Bring our hands back to the lower dantian with our palms facing the lower dantian. Our lower dantian is our energy reservoir, the reservoir of our qi. We have a middle dantian at the heart and an upper dantian at the third eye. The lower dantian is the one that feeds all the other dantians in the body. So that's why we always bring our focus back to the lower dantian, because it's the reservoir for the irrigation system of the rest of our body. So as you feel that qi in your hands, radiating back and forth to the lower dantian, we're envisioning a spinning light, spinning faster and faster and condensing smaller and smaller to the right. As that light condenses and condenses, it condenses into dawn, and dawn is a medicine. We tuck it into, we invite it in through our navel, into our lower dantian, and a tian is a place where things grow, or a farm. So we're inviting our qi, which now floats on our yi, our intention, into our bodies, to actively move throughout our body and extend into the qi fields of others for healing, for contentment today. As we rub our hands together, we will harvest our qi. Rub them together warmer and faster. And let's tap the ends of our fingers, the joints of our fingers together. And take this beautiful energy you've just warmed up and put it on your face, across your nose, up into the hairline, and say to yourself as you massage your face, I love you, and use your own name. I love you, Roxy.
I love you, Joni. I love you, Joni.
We're going to massage our ears. So you'll just take your ears and kind of do a little unfolding with them. And gently pull on the tips of the earlobes. Just a little gentle pull. We'll massage them 9 times. As you breathe in contentment. You're going to tap between the eyebrows. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And under the eyes. And on the whole body. Lift up your left arm and tap under your left armpit. This is the lung system, and this is all these movements that we do on our torsos really open up our lungs. And especially when we lift our hand way up high, we're opening up and extending the whole rib cage and sliding that shoulder blade in the back. And that opens the lungs, and the more that they can be open and be usable, fully usable, the more they will move stuff through them. Tap down the torso. Lift up the left arm again, tap down the left side. And each time you tap in joy, tap in happiness, tap in contentment, tap in peace. And the other side. As we take these things that we think about and these thoughts that we think about, and we put them into our bodies in a very physical manner, our cells drink them in like life-giving, healing water. We're going to take the backs of our hands and rub the backs of your kidneys. The backs of your kidneys, right? The kidneys at your back. And then gently cup the kidneys with an open cup. And now we're going to tap the torso, or the sacrum. And the sacrum tapping is one thing that's really important. And if you, Qigong, yes, we're practicing for about half an hour right now. We're taking one of the healing elements, but we can take each one of these little pieces that we do, and we can do them in isolation for little tiny bits of time throughout the day. Qigong can become a way of life as opposed to a simple practice that we do 1/2 hour out of 24. Because when we're feeling anything, and I'm continuing to tap your sacrum, when we're feeling anything or feeling any congestion, any physical congestion in our bodies, any emotional congestion that we can't really identify, we may be able to, but maybe we can't. As soon as we start tapping that tailbone, just tap the tailbone. Breathe. Tap the tailbone. It's that hinge place between the limbs that carry us around and the system here that functions so that the limbs can actually function. And that tailbone is a gateway. And as we tap it and we release blockages in it, both the legs and the torso and conversely the head and up into the head, they all have their energy channels opened more and more. And we can say as we tap, all my channels are open, open, open. All my energy channels are open and flowing freely and perfectly. Let's tap the hips. All my energy channels are open, open, open. Through the classes, you can find out how many and where and what they each do. But for now, just simply say all my channels, because that's inclusive, are open, open, open. This one here really just releases my whole pelvic area, my pubic area, and running our hands down to our knees, about the top of the knee, just above the kneecap. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're opening the channels of the knees down into the earth to bring energy up from the earth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On the left knee, yes, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And on the right side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to rise up on our toes and drop down to our heels. We're rising up on the bubbling spring, and we're inviting energy up from Mother Earth into our bodies. We're tapping down and just letting everything, any extra energy be gone. And I have no idea what number I'm on, but the intention is 9. And so that will be sufficient. Thank you for practicing with me today. I love being with you. I love sharing this. I love the connection that I feel, no matter if you're watching in person at the moment or if you'll see this video later. A lot of people contact me later privately and say that was really helpful. And it's not me, I'm just the channel. I'm the channel of the wisdom and the information from the universe that wants you to be 100% completely, purely happy. Happy, happy, happy. That is the intention of the universe for each of us. Namaste. I love you.